All right, let's go.
From North London lights to the Mersey rain, to sky blue nights when the champions reign. Three voices arise when the whistle blows. Same beautiful game, different colors we chose. Football is life. Win, lose, and argue all night. From the terrace to the mic, football is life.
Hey, folks, welcome to our latest episode of Football is Live. There's Mike. He's coming in hot from an airport. He's in transit on his way towards the destination of one of the semi-finals, which is exciting, Mike. Not got a ticket though, but you never know. Miracles can happen.
Yeah, miracles can happen. If anyone's in the Alpharetta area and just doesn't have anything to do with the ticket, I know a worthy cause.
Definitely, mate. Yes, well, listen, lots to talk about. I think the last time we spoke, we were probably at the round of, was it 32 or 16? 16?
16, yeah.
Yeah, 16. Yeah, so lots have happened. First of all, welcome to the club, the USA. They're out. They tried to bribe their way into the quarterfinals.
Here we go.
With favors. Come on, mate. You have to admit, mate, we've got to start with it.
So I'm happy to start with it. And I think the important thing to note there is that what the president did is not what the team did. And there's an important distinction. And so what the president did and what FIFA did were shameful.
Yes.
What the team did was what they played the hand they were dealt. I think if given the opportunity again, I wonder if he might have ceremoniously benched him for the first 30 minutes and then brought him on to send a message.
Definitely.
But I think there is an important distinction between what the president and FIFA did and what the team did. And one did not ask for the other. So the red card shouldn't have been suspended. It was a bunch of BS. It was crazy. But again, I think there is a very important distinction, and there was a lot of venom. I spent a lot of time that week trying to explain to people that it's fine to hate the team, but how we got there was not the request of the team. They were settled, understood. Ballo knew that he was being suspended, and then suddenly he wasn't. The corruption in this World Cup is second to none right now. It feels like we can have a sensor on a ball that senses hair, but it doesn't find a sky camera line. Are you kidding me? Like, what is going on in this World Cup? You're on mute.
I'm on mute. Sorry, you can hear me now. Okay. So on the Balogun thing, again, from things I read, my understanding is that I think the US team maybe encouraged them to make a call. I think I actually feel Balogun was the guy I think I felt sorry for the whole thing, because it kind of felt like he was like
he didn't ask for any of this.
And actually, it was always kind of going to go against, like, in terms of a motivating factor for the Belgians. Like, he was always going to be a bit conflicted, because he knew, like, I can't imagine what it feel like going on a pitch knowing if you score, like, and to me,
it's in a 0-win situation.
Yeah, and look, it's Infantino. Look, we're all this stuff, hydration breaks for commercials, whatever. It's all about him. He's the guy that's in. And again, I think they're using the fact. Look, we all know the US is a very much a kind of capitalist kind of, like, so there is that, right, in terms of, like, that's just the way that. So I feels like he's using that as a vehicle to do. And again, to me, it's like, look, the premise is this. Look, to me, there should be an appeal process where something that we all agree was wrong should be able to be appealed and overturned in an official and in a transparent way where 100%. Everyone gets to do it.
There was no pundit on the planet who didn't think that shouldn't have been a red card.
Exactly.
Like,
so
the football world agreed that it was an egregious call to begin with, and just the way that it all went down was the problem. The post red card was shameful.
Oh well, but again, I mean, the US team probably. I mean, I did say this. I think I said this one of the previous podcasts. I said all the host nations, when it gets real, will be completely found out, because they had incredibly fortunate runs, and all three happened. I know Meg. Look, the Mexico team, like I always fancied England to win there. I know people talk about altitude and this stuff in their record, but you look at the teams that they beat there. They're not
that
beating
was a
Spain,
drinking game.
Brazil. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But you're not
If
beating.
if you took a drink every time someone said altitude, you'd still be drunk.
But the problem is people look at their people, like even some of the English fans that we're talking about, like this being one of the greatest English performances. I'm like, that Mexico team are bang average. They're average at the Azteca because they don't play Spain. They don't play any of the best teams there. So they're playing a lot of nobodies there. So they're also not great teams. So it's a bit of a myth. But again, I expected as it happened, all those things happened as expected. You start to weed out some of the, this is where I think that the size of the competition does it does create problems where, there is a gulf in class, for round of 16, there shouldn't be many of these teams left. There was a lot of them left, and they all kind of pretty much ceremoniously got found out. Brazil went home, as I've said that I was doing Scotland's group. I felt they were bang average as well, and very beatable. We just didn't have, I feel like the narrative around Scotland, not to talk about the Tartan Army, actually to talk about the performance is this narrative. We have good enough players. I'm like, look at these teams that got to the round of 16. I'm like, guys.
Stage. Yeah, I mean, you look at the four that are left. Or I mean, yeah.
You know what it is, Mike? We look at Scotland. I'm like, I don't buy. I'm like, I believe Steve Clarke as a coach underachieved with the talent that we have. That's my belief. Like, I look at the Wales team that had Gareth Bale. They had one player, and a lot of players playing at much lower level football, and they did well. They maximised that group of players. That we talk about the Belgian team underperforming. Like this crop of Scotland players is as good as it's been for a long time.
Yep.
And we've underachieved because we've had a coach that, he's given us a couple of, I've been at them, beat Spain 2-0 at Hampden, we beat Denmark 4-2, we beat Norway away. We've had a few nights that I have to thank him for, but net it's been pretty poor, and he's not got the most out of this group of players. And I think you can see a lot of these, like Jesse March at Canada, absolutely got as much out of those guys as he probably could have.
He did.
A fair play, and the same as the Mexicans. I feel that they absolutely gave everything, and England just had too much quality. At the end of the day, that's what happened. But yeah, so it's been an interesting World Cup, and we are down to the kind of the brass tacks now. So we had the last of the quarterfinals. We have France. I mean, Morocco went out with an absolute whimper. I know the boys, Saibari, the striker, was out, but it was almost like they were 2-0 down, and they felt like they were winning 1-0. I was like, what are you doing here? Like, there was no urgency. It was, and France are good, but I just felt at some point you got to throw caution to the wind. So the Belgium-Spain game was really quite compelling, and Belgium were maybe a little bit unfortunate in that game. I didn't think that was much closer than people thought. I don't know what you thought about that game, but I thought Belgium played pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, they proved that they were. I mean, what was interesting about Belgium is going into the U.S. game, they looked a lot worse than they did across the next two. Like, and we talked about that, right? Like the teams that start a house of fire generally aren't the ones that win the World Cup. Like, you find your form coming out of the group stage, and they definitely seem to do that. And I thought that was one of the most compelling games of that particular round.
Yeah, and then we had the two last night. So England get through. It might be coming home. Oh God, the thought. I mean, I know I joke a lot, but I actually don't. I don't really care that much if they win it. It's just more fun to kind of poke in that. But yeah, anyway. Yes, you had Harry Kane bleating for another foul that wasn't a foul once again. This is what happens when you dive, mate. This is if players were more honest, right? He's bad for it. He is one of those players. Anthony Gordon's another one. I think that they're the two particular players that I think have two really good players that just frustrate me because they don't need to do it, right? And it's like, so same thing again. Norway actually thought in the 90 minutes with a better team. Massive. I didn't see this till this morning about the ball hitting the wire for the first goal, and you're going, it picks up a tough. So to me, I'm at loss where it's like, okay, the technology didn't pick it up. Like why didn't VAR? I didn't realize at the time the Norwegians were all claiming they all knew it had happened. Why not just look? Because when you slow it down, you can see. You go, oh yeah, clearly
it drops straight down.
So it's pretty clear. So I don't know why you wouldn't just review that when you've been, I don't know. Like, it was I'm not sure I understand that. But look, you need a bit of luck in these tournaments. I think if you're going to win any tournament, you do need a bit of luck. England certainly have had that.
That's
In that
Croatia.
game. 100%, and the disallowed goal as well. I do think it's a stupidly and needlessly blatant push by Haaland. I don't know why he needs to do it, because it's not like it's different. If Anderson had a hold of him, properly holding him, I might understand it. Look, Anderson's embellished it. If somebody shoves you, you don't fall over like that. Like, but I understand it was too egregious not to be.
Yeah, he took advantage of the shove and made the most out of it, and away you go. But
and what you'll find is players may start doing this to take advantage of these rules now. Now they know that and go, we can just go over, and then it'll, so they need to be careful, the officials. But yeah, England were the better team in extra time, by the way. So in extra time, there was only one team going to win it. I have to say that there was only I mean, Norway completely gassed out. And
I mean, when Holland came off, you knew like something had to be wrong physically for that. Like, I mean, and
I know it was hot.
That was like. I don't think it was in. The broadcasters here were saying that there was something that he was managing, and but shocking, because I mean, he's obviously your best penalty taker, and he's the roaming threat, and for him to come off was almost like conceding at that point. It was
it felt like it, yeah. But we do then we had Argentina going through against Switzerland. Some controversy in that game. There was a yellow. I mean, Argentina went up early. Alexis McAllister, Messi with another assist. And then Argentina, they're a strange watch and a strange team they got, and they just seemed to retreat back. And then it was all Switzerland. Switzerland, should have equalized before they did, then equalized. Martinez had a brilliant save, and Bolo gets sent off for I feel he was. I was just reading before we came on. He was saying that about that. It was a foul. It shouldn't have been. The Argentina player shouldn't have been booked. I'm like, mate, you blatantly dived. Like it was so bad, and I'm like, so I actually have no sympathy for him. And I agree. Granit Xhaka said it did spoil the game. I agree with that. Then it was just a matter of time, and it was like, can Switzerland hold out penalties? But it was just like, again, I would like to see more punishment like this, because I think it highlights the problem and stops these players. But I would have liked to see Kane get booked for simulation for that penalty where he clearly dived. When they have the evidence in the angle you show, we can see that you've clearly tried to con the referee. I would like more severe punishment, because it just eliminates it. Nobody likes it, right? And the thing is, it's so like, I just don't understand that. I've played football my whole life. I've never, the only ones I understand is you see if a guy's coming in at 100 miles an hour, and you sometimes anticipate, and you're trying to ride, like, because you don't want to leave your leg planted, right? Because you think he's going to...
Yeah, you don't want to break your leg. Yeah.
But also, I know I can maneuver the ball away, so I know I'm going to win a foul. Like, I'm almost playing to win a foul, which I think is okay, because I'm being clever. I see him coming in. And sometimes there's an anticipation. But see if I immediately... Let's say it happens where I try and do that, and then no contact is forthcoming, and I immediately get up and just put my hand... Like, I think that's fine, because it's not... But these, like, ones that are like... I think he did anticipate contact, but the fact that he goes down and pretends it's all the rolling and feigning. Like, see Harry Kane, I'd have been like, get up and try and win the ball back. Like, you lost the ball. Like, I actually like there's a lot I like. I know there's been some egregious calls. There's a lot in terms of sentiment that I've liked about the officiating at this World Cup that I think starts to get some of the stuff I really don't like out of the game. And I'd like to see that. And so I'm okay with that punishment. It did spoil the game. Switzerland looked like they could go on to win that game, which would have been some feat. But it does set up a glamour tie. So we have the glamorous semifinals. Argentina, England, massive.
You've got the Hand of God Bowl against this, against the two
Spain
favorites.
and France, who are going to be, with such talented players. It really is. It should be amazing, actually. So what do we think about the preview for these games? We'll start with France against Spain, which is tomorrow night. What's the location for that one? Because I know that one's in Atlanta. This one's in, is this? I need to check.
I know the third place match is in Miami. I don't know where that.
I'll have a look while you're giving me your thoughts on the game. I want to just check the location, because I know the final is in
New York, New Jersey. Yeah,
New York, New Jersey. Yes, but I think that one, France, Spain, is. Does it tell me? It doesn't tell me. I don't think. Venue, AT&T. So it's the Texas. So down in Texas, but they're all going to be undercover. So, like, no heat. I think it's all going to be aircon, like same as a Mercedes-Benz. So, no heat conditions. A lot of people seem to be saying that France maybe somewhat unstoppable. Do you agree with that, or do you see Spain causing them a problem?
So, I mean, they certainly haven't run up against a defense like Spain, right? I mean, they finally conceded a goal in their last match. I mean, it's just been ridiculous. But I do think that just the firepower that they have, it doesn't have to be just Mbappe, and he's been lights out. But I mean, they've just got so much attacking power. I don't know. I think it's going to really come down to how much possession they get, and what Spain do. I really feel like that's the final, and then whoever comes out of that should win. But I think France wins. I do think France wins.
Okay, I actually think Spain are probably.
I picked Spain to win the World Cup, but I just on current form, I think France wins.
Oh, look, there's no. I mean, look, Unai Simon didn't look too clever. I mean, again,
No.
David Ryan must be saying, "Gaffer, coach,
what do I have to do? What do I have to do?" Yeah.
I mean,
and at this point, though, like he hasn't.
It was 13 clean sheets in a row. Though it was like, so there is like my mate was saying, was something like 13 clean sheets. So it's hard to change him, and he did have a couple of really shaky moments. But the Spain team, I would say, I don't know. I actually feel the way that it's like styles make fights. And I think because of the way France now play with this kind of front four, so they've got Dembele, they've got Mbappe, it'll be
Elise.
probably be Doué, right? And then Elise, right? So that's the four.
Yeah.
I think the way that
front four is gross.
I mean, and then they've got Barcoa, they've got Cherky, they've got people on the bench. But my point is the way that they play that way, like Spain, like it's going to be, I think it's going to be a very tactical, interesting tactical battle. And I do think Spain, that may cause France some problems that they haven't really had to face in this World Cup
this
yet.
Is a different opposition from anything they've seen so far in this tournament, for sure.
Yes, but I do believe it does look like Mbappe, that your players get the bit between their teeth, like Bellingham did last night. That these guys just kind of go.
Jude Bellingham. I mean, talk about a guy who's living for the moment right now. I mean,
some of these guys just have the bit between their teeth. But so I mean, I think my head says 9 times, or sorry, out of 10 times, majority of times France should win the game. I actually think there could be. Yeah, Spain, I think will cause them problems, and I think the game. I actually think it could go the distance, could go extra time, and there could be a late winner. I think it could be really tight in that game. It should be. I'm hoping that, like all these games, we get an early goal which opens it up. Because I think it could be an epic game, but I think it might be low scoring. It could be a 1-1 extra time.
I just hope there's no penalties in these. I can't.
It could be a late winner. I think it could be an extra time winner. I think teams. I actually think there should be more of a mentality. Let's not let this get to penalties. Let's try and win it. But anyway, we'll see. That's going to be a blockbuster game. And what about the other one? So I mean, look, at the England-Argentina game, old rivalry. I don't know if you saw some interesting stuff post game for England. Well, actually, in extra time, you saw, or the hydration breaks, Thomas Tuchel ranting and raving, and basically England players just their backs turned, ignoring him. And then Jude Bellingham came out and criticised him. He said, well, Tuchel said they got lucky, he wasn't pleased with the performance. And he said, well, I don't think he knows how hard it is to play in those conditions against a good team like that. So there is this, it's an interesting thing, because again, I don't feel England haven't been playing particularly well. They don't look like a collective to me. They look like, again, Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane are like, we are going to win this World Cup. But
and the same with Messi. These two teams have done nothing but find a way to win.
100%. So it's Argentina. I was about to say that, Mike. The same thing for Argentina. It's been basically getting through, honestly, because they just have more quality in that when it matters.
They're willing themselves to win.
Yeah, and the big players like Messi and Bellingham, like these big players stepping up. Julian Alvarez last night with an absolute worldie of a goal. So I just think that the derby nature might bring out the best in both those teams, and we might actually see it, because I've not seen a performance from England yet that I think is worthy of a team winning the World Cup. I've not seen a performance from Argentina yet that's worthy of a performance. And really, honestly,
in about 20 minutes when they were down.
Yeah, I think France. I mean that was maybe the only. But I mean, a proper performance, a game like France, the only team I've seen you go, you look like world champions. But yeah, I think this game is so tough to call. And when I do a kind of an objective analysis, my belief is England are slightly better offensively, I
Yep.
believe.
Yep.
Kane and Bellingham, they've
Yep.
got. I know they've got Messi, Alvarez, they've got Lautaro Martinez, but I just think, I
There's
think England are
England
more
has a lot more
dangerous.
than just those two as well. I
They've
mean,
got
and
Saka, they've
yeah,
got Anthony Gordon,
yeah,
they've got but then I also think England are probably marginally better defensively and in the midfield. So
marginally.
I actually think they're marginally
John
better.
Stones, where did that defensive play come? Like he had the
I
game of
know.
his life. It's like what?
He did, yeah. The
What's
only
going on?
place that I say is Martinez is better than Pickford. So I look at it. Look, Argentina are the current holders, so
Yep.
they will have the bit. But I if I'm being objective, I would say I would fancy England to beat them. I don't know what you think. I
Yeah.
do think.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I
think the
think
same.
it's. Yeah, I do. I think it's probably England France, and that game will be very lopsided.
We'll see. I mean, England on the counter attack can be lethal, but yeah, I mean, look,
It
thing is,
can be, but
Lissandro, like the Argentina's defense, just look. I just think Kane and Bellingham can, if they play as haphazard as they've been. If you look at Egypt at them, you go like, I'm sorry, guys like Saka and that
yeah,
they'll murder you. They will murder you. Harry
absolutely,
Kane will have.
absolutely.
So I mean, look, I do expect a different Argentina to turn up. I just don't know that you can go from like here to here, though. I think the same as England, though.
Yeah.
I just think, yeah, I think it's going to be super. I think that game's so exciting to watch. I'm going to be actually in London for the game, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be in the Lions Den, so I'll be watching a pub somewhere. So which is always,
yeah.
to be honest, in a way, I actually because obviously I've not really got like any actual, as much as I like, I'll poke fun and laugh if they lose, like I always do, right? The same way they do when Scotland go out. Same way,
Sure.
I mean, it's part and parcel, right? I'm sure that the US would be doing the same to Canada if they went out and you guys were still in. But there is good being caught up in like when you're in a place where people really get and it means everything. So it will make the game more of a compelling watch. I remember watching Scotland England rugby in London and we beat them and it was fantastic. I was in the minority and it's a bit of fun. So I am really looking forward to that game. I think it will be interesting to see who he picks in the starting lineup. Declan Rice clearly had some illness issues. Look, I don't know why he played. That felt like a mistake because he couldn't even take a corner properly, which is not like Declan Rice.
Yeah.
That felt like a huge mistake to play him. He probably shouldn't have been playing. Be interested to see if he recovers and is in time, or whether they're going to make some changes. Because I thought Morgan Rogers did well when he came on.
He absolutely. I mean, he was the reason for that second goal. I mean, absolutely. He's played future Arsenal player. He's been playing.
Oh, you hope so. You got maybe Bruno Guimaraes as well. But
yeah.
Do you think the Tuchel factor with like players turned away from him? Bellingham's kind of barbed comments, like something I saw somebody on the radio saying Tuchel will play the videos and say they're trying to divide us, but I've not been convinced that Tuchel's really got these guys. Like, I'm not seeing a real plan when England play. With Southgate, there was a plan, and whether you liked it or didn't like it, I understand that, right? It wasn't fantastic to watch. With this England team, there doesn't seem to be much of a plan, or it very much, like you say, is just by the seat of their pants. And then if they go down, then they just go gun ho. If they go up, they defend for the. They're almost just like at liberty to what happens in the game. Like if that Norway goal had stood the second one, I still felt England would have got a goal. I feel they need a goal. They can just I think they're in that phase but they're not really controlling games in the way that you would expect a team with the talent they have. Because I mean, Elliot Anderson I think he's been superb, but it's a hard one. Do you think Tuchel doesn't have this dressing room? I think that's a possibility.
I'm not sure. So it was interesting after the match when the reporter was talking to him about mentality, and he was saying it was all mentality. Like what he was trying to get across, the reporter wasn't understanding. And so then after that interview, they went back to what we're seeing in the States, which was Rebecca Lowe, who's fantastic, and Thierry Henry, who's brilliant, and Zlatan, who's also excellent. But Henry was like, the broadcaster didn't understand what he was trying to get across, and that what he was trying to do was credit them and their mentality and getting through and getting it across the line. And so they all kind of walked away saying, boy, the British press is going to have a field day with this tomorrow when and it sounds like they have.
Oh, they have.
I don't know that he's lost the dressing room. I think that he was very critical. He said, they haven't played their best game, that there was a lot to be desired, but their mentality got them across the line. And so I don't know if he's lost the dressing room. I think there is a very fascinating poetic element to a German manager
I know.
of an English foot. I mean, it's just like
You
it
make it
writes
up.
itself. It really writes itself.
Well,
You know, I
I
mean,
don't know.
22 players take the field, and in the end, the Germans win. And I think the Germans are all thinking,
Mm,
is
do
the
you know
plan
what?
for us to just like from within?
I was watching at halftime. He's standing outside the dressing room and he's just slapping all the guys' asses coming out the dressing room, and then he's doing these. I just thought he reminded me of it's like a porno where you have a fluffer. I was like, are you just the fluffer here, big man? Like you're not like they're just like me. Like, again, I played under managers where they give the team and you're all rolling your eyes and going, sure, whatever, shut you, because you basically like you just don't believe in anything they're saying, right? You don't buy in. And that's kind of some of the behavior. And I was looking at the body language at the hydration breaks, and they're just all like, Harry Kane's got his back turned to him. He's animated, doing all. I'm just like, you're just a fluffer, mate. Like that's what you are. You're just you're a glorified fluffer here. That's just that, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I don't know. That's my reading. It is. I do think that there's like, I've never rated Tuchel either. I don't think I think the Chelsea. I just don't see him as an elite manager.
I don't know what he is. He's not like I don't think he's a great club manager. I don't know that
No,
he's an
I know he
international
won the
manager. Like
Champions
I'm not
League.
sure what he.
No,
Yeah,
no,
just,
he's
I don't get
he's
it.
not my cup of tea. I've never been impressed with him. But again, I think if they win the World Cup, it will be in spite of him. In terms of like, I just think like
Fair.
Bellingham is that's when I see England.
Straps the team on his back. I mean, he is just like
more so than Kane, 100%.
Absolutely, 100% more so than Kane, and you can just see it in everything that he's doing. It just like he had the same look in his eye that Messi did in the Egypt game.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I am going to will this team to win.
100%.
Yeah.
It's impressive to see. So we got that. Look, we really do have that to look forward to. So that'll be that's on Wednesday night. So Tuesday night's the France-Spain game, and then Wednesday night we've got the France-England. Then we have the final on Sunday night, and that's it to conclusion. And we have the good news: we only have a small hiatus before we can start. Then the transfer rumors are going to come as we get back.
The transfer rumors are already thick and fast.
Well, they're already
we've just been biting our tongue.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, so out of the four, then, Mike, are you calling France? Is that who you're going to call at this stage? So we tried to call the people that might sneak through. I think we had some decent shouts. Nobody quite made it, but it was like Switzerland. I didn't call Switzerland. I said that. I just said I feel they might just maybe. Yeah. But do you think Colombia? Oh, they went out and paid some terrible penalties this World Cup. Some awful penalties.
I mean, just shockingly bad. Bad. The stutter step is the dumbest thing. It's just like it has to stop. That should be a penalty. Just stop
almost as bad as Koundé's hair. I don't know if you've seen Koundé for France. Maybe the worst hairdo at the World Cup. Like every time I see him, I'm just like I can't. I'm just like, dude, I don't know what it is. It's not for me, mate. It's not for me.
I do think of the four teams that are left, the strongest side is France. Yes.
Okay, so we both agree France. If you're to pick not France, who's gonna?
Then it's Spain for me.
Okay, I've got to go Argentina.
I think it's that side of the draw.
I'm backing the Argentines. I'm worried about England. I'm backing them only because I put a bet on them at the start of the tournament because they were quite long odds. So I have to back my bet, right? So I've got Argentina to win it. I've got money on it.
It'd be something if they repeated, wouldn't it? My goodness.
Yeah, they were
what a way for Messi to go out because that's it. Yeah.
They were longer odds than like Brazil, and I was just like, that doesn't seem. I don't know why it felt like they were being slept on, and it was more of a value. Like I fancied France, but it was more of a. I look for value and go. That feels like value. Like I feel like they're going to be closer to winning it than that suggests. Like than Brazil, I just didn't think that. I thought they were better than them.
Showed us.
Well, however, they haven't actually played particularly well, so maybe I was completely wrong. They've kind of managed to get there, so. Fingers crossed for me that they can win it because then I would win some money. But we'll see. And then what about the top goal scorer, Golden Boot? So Jude Bellingham has catapulted himself into that ranking.
He and Kane are tied, and it's still Mbappe and Messi in the lead. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it by? I think it's by one, isn't it? Or is it two?
So Kane and Bellingham each have 6, I think.
Yeah. So 2. They were. Oh no, Messi's on 7. Is he not? No. I'll tell you right now. World Cup. Top scorers. Here we go. I was trying. Let me just have a look. Okay, so we have Messi 8, Mbappe 8, Haaland on 7, and he's out. Obviously, and Kane and Bellingham both tied on 6. So it kind of feels like, I mean, it's a 3-horse race, isn't it?
Yeah, and I just think, I mean, having a 2-goal lead. Going into that for Mbappe, and I think it's probably him at this point that that does it. He just seems to find a way to score every time he takes the pitch.
Yeah, I don't know. Two back. I think you're right. I mean, Messi's the one that can he do it against an England team? Maybe. I mean, he would. I think he'd have to get a couple. I think he'd need a buffer going into
Just
the
don't
final.
send him to the spot because he can't score from the penalty spot.
Or just run up and smack the ball and he'll score. Like, he hits a beautiful ball. Just do what he does normally and he would score. Like, you know,
he missed 4 penalties in the World Cup.
No, I know he has. He's crazy. Like, the thing is, just let Alvarez or Martin, just somebody else take the penalties. Like, I would just say, guys, if that's my record, I'd be like, somebody else is up. I've had my shot. Like,
Julian.
Somebody's got to take it, or get somebody who wants to take it, or somebody that's got a better record than that. But yeah, I think Mbappe's going to win it. I do think the way he's playing, you're right. I think
2 goal, and with the 2 goal cushion, I just think. I mean, there's only 2 games left to play, and he's
there is. But I mean, look, if he draws a blank against Spain, I mean, again, it's depending on who goes out as well. I mean, if France make it to the final, it's hard to see in 2 games Mbappe being caught, I would say, but
for sure.
And I think Messi, Bellingham, and Kane, would all need to they would need to score. So whoever gets through the Argentina England tie, you're gonna have to have.
They're gonna have to have a haul,
especially the English players. Like, if they're 2, but they're not gonna make that up in a final. I don't think they're not gonna score 3 against France. No. So yeah, well, we'll see. Well, exciting times. Well, look, next time we speak, it will probably be the other side of these semi-finals. We will have hopefully Waza and Billy back on to do a preview for that final, and then we'll maybe do a wrap up of the World Cup in terms of do the kind of the school reports, right? How teams did. We'll do a bit of a wrap up before we then switch focus back to
pivot back to the Premier League. Yes,
that's it. Yeah, North London forever, whatever. You can't wait. That's it. You Gunners, you bloody Gunners, huh?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Indeed. Okay. Well, listen. Thanks to everyone for listening. Mike, great to chat. Thanks for hopping on. I know it's difficult. Lots of travel at the moment.
It's been crazy.
I know. But yeah, listen, enjoy the games this week. They're going to be a couple of belters. Looking forward to watching them. And yes, let's see. Can't wait to see who we get in the final on Sunday. So it's been a pretty good World Cup so far, isn't it?
I can't complain. Aside from the crazy corruption, I can't complain.
Yeah, apart from that, just a little side detail. But, All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.
From the terrace to the mic, football is life.
Boom.